plants that we have seen, it's a rooted floating plant. Now in rooted floating plant we have lotus and water lily, which are the examples. They have hollow stem. Why do they have hollow stem? So that they can float very easily on the water surface. If they could have a brown stem which is thick, they would not be able to float on the water surface, and that is the reason why do they have hollow stem. They even have large circular leaves with a waxy coating which helps them to repel the water. Repel means to what we can say, the water cannot keep on the leaves. It will not hold the water on the leaves. And why do they need to do this? Because the stomata in the aquatic plant is on the upper side of the leaf. Now in the last chapter we have seen that stomata plays a major role in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, whatever raw material is being needed for the process of photosynthesis is taken inside the leaves through stomata. But in aquatic plant, the stomata is present on the upper side of the leaf. Why? Because it faces towards the sunlight, and therefore to keep it open and clear, they need to repel the water. Okay, that is the reason. Then the roots in aquatic plants only plays a simple role, that is just to hold the plant on its place. No other reason for having roots. Okay. Then we have the submerged plants. These are also known as pondweed, and most of the part of this plant, the vegetative part, may it be leaves, roots, flowers, whatever part it has, it is submerged inside the water surface. We cannot see it on the upper portion of the water. Such kind of pondweeds you can even find in the aquariums. They are used as ornamentals for the aquarium. Okay, they have a soft stem, and the example for the submerged plant is Vallisneria. Okay, so all of you are clear up to what are the different kinds of aquatic plants? Okay, so the last topic of our chapter is ecosystem. As we have already seen biosphere and ecosystem is a related term, we can say, because both of them talks about the relationship between the abiotic and the biotic factor. So ecosystem is actually a unit. It consists of plants and animals, the microorganisms which are found in the soil. They function together along with the non-living factors of the environment. Okay, now ecosystem, it has two components, that is abiotic, which we have already seen, it's a non-living part, that the soil, air, water, sunlight and temperature, these all comes under the abiotic factors. And biotic factors are the living factors, that are the plants and animals, even the microorganisms, that comes under the biotic factors of the environment. When we are talking about an ecosystem, there is an interrelationship or an interdependence in a nature. Okay, all the organisms, may it be a plant or animal or human being, we all are dependent on each other. Okay, so this dependence or interdependence on each other is known as ecosystem. Okay, it comes under ecosystem. So how are they interdependent? Now even the plants in the environment, they are dependent on the abiotic factor, that is soil, air, water, sunlight, for the process of photosynthesis. We all know that plants can make their own food, but they need these all raw materials for the process of photosynthesis. If we do not have these abiotic factors present in our environment, we would not think of life on the earth's surface. Okay, then these plants, which are known as autotrophs, why? Because they can make their own food. They are a source of food for herbivores, which are the next term, or we can say that the animals are dependent on the plants for their food. Yes, even we human beings are dependent on the plants for our food. So each one of us is dependent indirectly or directly on the components of the ecosystem. Okay, so this interdependence in nature is the same way that every organism on the earth's surface is dependent on each other for its survival. Now, for example, it's been given in the slide that bees help in pollinating flowers and in turn it gets the nectar. So both of them are in they are in a relationship, they are interdependent on each other. Bees help in pollinating flowers. If the flowers does not get pollinated, what will happen? It will not flourish, its generations will not grow, or we cannot find out different types of plants around us if pollination does not take place. Okay, we will find only one kind of tree and then it will not flourish further. But these bees, as they help in pollinating flowers, we can find out one particular or typical kind of plant at different places. Okay, and in turn it gets the nectar. So both of them are in a we can say in a relationship. Both of them are being profited, or they both are getting the needs that are being required. Then photosynthesis is the best example that I have told earlier, that plants are dependent on the abiotic components for the process of photosynthesis, and we are then depended on the plants for getting oxygen that is being released out during the process of photosynthesis. Yes, we cannot make our own oxygen, or we cannot make our own food without the help of plants. Okay, so we are dependent on the plants and indirectly dependent on the abiotic components too. Then we have the next example of scavengers. Now you all know that the scavengers are the organisms which feed on dead and decaying matter of plants and animals. Okay, and they even help in keeping the environment clean. If scavengers are not being there on the earth's surface, nowadays you might have heard about that most of the scavengers are endangered. Okay, because they are being killed. They are being killed by the human beings, or due to the changing environment, their number has been decreasing day by day. So scavengers play a major role. If they do not feed on the dead matter, it will keep on piling up in the environment, and our environment will become dirty, or we can say there will be no cleanliness around us. So they play a major role. Even crows are the scavengers present around us, which feeds on this dead matter and keeps the environment clean. Okay, so these all are the terms which we are going to discuss in ecosystem. The last topic is the food chain. Now I hope you all have a basic idea about what is a food chain. Okay, as we have already seen that interdependence in nature, that everyone is dependent on the other for its needs. So the same way, the process of eating and being eaten is known as a food chain. A chain of organism is formed when one is being eating other. Now in the picture, you can see the first picture which is being shown, a three-linked food chain. It is three-linked means there are three links, three organisms present. Okay, the first one is the corn plant. Now corn is not dependent on any other organism, but it is dependent on the abiotic factor, as I have told you already. It can make its own food as it is an autotroph, so it makes its own food. Rat is dependent on the corn for its food, and owl is dependent on the rat for its food. So they are interlinked with each other. So this interlink, or a chain that is being formed due to the interconnection between these all organisms, is known as a food chain. The next one, you can see example of a carrot. A rabbit eats carrot, a fox eats the rabbit, and the lion eats the fox. Okay, so all of them are interdependent on each other for their food. And the last one, you can see grass, again an autotroph. In all the three chains that we are looking into, all of them are autotroph.